Hi, I'm Imran. It's very nice to meet you. So, when you give a software engineer a task to do, especially a new software engineer, something like, hey, I've got this code base, I've got this application, please fix it. Here's a bug, whatever, right? That software engineer kind of has three different ways they could approach the problem, right? First, it's a traditional way. Let's say back in 2015, the way they would approach it, right? They would, know the language, know the frameworks and tools involved, read through the code base, get code base familiarity, use their debugger and other knowledge to go and find and fix the bug, right? Slow and kind of painful, even for trivial bugs, especially if it's a code base you don't know, and especially if it's a language you don't know, right? Um, Sometimes just getting the repro might be hard. Uh, in the new world order, right, the day of copilots and ChatGPT, the user, the developer might be able to say, okay, I've got this loaded in my IDE, I've figured out how to build it with ChatGPT's help. Hey, how do I build this thing, right? Okay, great. Oh, and then use the copilots to kind of figure out, okay, bugs over here somewhere, write this function, do this kind of thing, right? Well, in this, there's actually kind of a new thing that's kind of forming now. I'm going to call it assistance or something. I don't have a good word for it, where it's more about context management than it is about content management. And I'm going to kind of show you an example of how that could work. All right, so here's a little app kind of thing here, right? And this is an alpha build. There are still bugs in it. Please bear with me. So the first thing I would do is I would go build the bug, go build the product and get to repro state, right? This is the whole linepaint.java workflow. GitHub, I think it's called Paint Java, not linepaint Java. Yes, great. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to ask for it to build it for me or with me. I have this application. I don't know how to build it. Can you help me? Okay, so while it does that, I'm going to name this build because I want to save off this chat because this is the first step of my process. It's going to say, okay, you need to run this thing in that directory, ambient clean install. It's going to drop it down here, and I'm going to do that. Oh, it build broke. Uh-oh. No cutting and pasting between this and ChatGPT. Just select the turn with that green glyph there, and it'll tell me what's wrong. Oh, your POM file is what's wrong. You need to add this property. Okay, let's go find that POM file. Here's that POM file. Can you rewrite the whole thing with the correction for me? I actually don't know what a POM file is. I'm assuming it's some sort of build file that's in the. Oops, I forgot to do that. Let's trash that and redo that with those glyphs selected. I forgot to select this little green thing so that it actually had the file. So what I did is I erased the turn from the chat history and I simply resent it with the correction made. Makes fixing mistakes a lot faster to have these kinds of things. Here's the update. Dink. Save. Does it work? Woo, build success. Woohoo, that built. How to run it. And notice it didn't quite translate me correctly, right? Woohoo, that built how to run it when I said how do I run it. But that's okay. It'll understand it well enough. It'll give me options. It'll say, hey, you can run it by this Java thing, or you can use the dash jar thing, or you can open an ID or whatever. This looks shorter. Toss it in, run it. It's now running on a different monitor. Let me pull it over. All right, now I've gotten to the point where I can repro the issue. So I've got a pencil tool, I have an eraser tool, and I have a line tool. But the line tool is currently an eraser tool. Let's try what happens if I go to the pencil tool, then the line tool. Then it becomes a line tool. Okay, so the line tool has no implementation whatsoever, it looks like. All right, let's fix that. So now I'm going to start a new chat and call this chat, oops, debugging. And I'm gonna toss this away. I don't think I need the terminal for now. I'm going to do a few things here. First, I'm going to take this working memory area, which I renamed to notes here, and I'm going to make a spec tab. This is a mixture of spec and sort of my scratch area, and I'm going to make a code base tab. This particular project is small enough I can load the entire code base in one turn, so I'm going to do that. If it was bigger, I may do things differently. I may ask it to memorize or do some other prompt tricks to get it to actually understand what it wants to do. But this is small enough. Notice these are all now green and they're glyphs, so this is going to be given the next turn. But I'm still organizing my own thoughts right now. I'm not ready to work with the AI. So first I'm going to create a specification. When doing really short words, I have to be very careful with my enunciation. That's just a whisperism. I have this Java application that has three large tools within it. The first tool that it has is that it can create pencil drawings on a canvas. The second tool that it has is an eraser tool that it can use to erase previous strokes on the canvas. And the third tool that it has is a line tool that allows the user to draw a line between two points. Okay, I was a little unsmooth with what I said there, so I'm going to review what I said. I have this Java Paint application that has three. This allows me to be really, really precise with my context, because the better the context precision that you have, the more likely you are to get a correct answer from your LLM. Okay. And I'm also going to create a problem statement. Problem statement. The line tool does not work. It seems that when I try to use the line tool, whatever tool was previously active, either the pencil tool or the eraser tool, is used. So I would like to fix this. Actually, I don't even need that. I just need the problem. So I'm going to do that. So again, more precise. All right, let's turn these on. All right, so now I have my specification. What is this thing? Problem statement. What's wrong with it? And because this particular program is small enough, the entire code base for it to look at in this turn. I'm going to ask it to make a repair plan so that I can do some chain of thought reasoning in one turn. I'm going to pick Claude because I find Claude to be better at code than most other AIs and reasonably fast. O1's probably the best, but O1's nowhere near as quick. I have this application and I'm trying to fix it. Can you help me? Please create a repair plan for me and just detail what you would do. Don't write any code yet. I explicitly told it to not write any code yet, just so I can get a high-level overview of a plan. These LLMs tend to want to jump to conclusion and give you code soon, right away, unless you give it a hint like memorize this or don't write code or whatever. So now it says, okay, here's your issue. You need a line pane class. You need to check these other things. You need to update options, and it's given me a plan, right? By giving me a plan first, it now has enough context in itself to give me better diffs. So I'm going to ask it for diffs. That sounds like a good plan. Can you give me examples in detail of exactly what you want to do? Uh, Give me the code examples and a lot of explanation of why you want to make that code change. So this is not just giving me a diff, it's giving me a detailed diff. And by giving me the details, it makes it easier for me or another AI to make repairs, right? Um, Most of this I'm doing with this pen and this microphone. I don't know why I'm bringing that back up, but it's a lot easier to interact with a system like this than it is to type this all out. I'm just faster and I'm thinking faster. I'm in a broader state of mind than I would be if I was stuck to the keyboard. Now, sometimes the keyboard's really the right thing to use. Like there's an art to it, not just blind skill sometimes. Okay. I've got this line paint implementation. I've updated actions. I've modified paint window, updated paint object constructor. That might be complete and correct. I don't know. So I'm going to ask for a cross check to find out. Are you sure? First question, will this set of changes actually give me a working line tool? Second question, is this the smallest possible code change we can make? And third question is this the most readable possible code change we can make? I don't like that is just just my own internal grammarisms. All right, first question, give me a working line tool, says the smallest code change. Yep, I like it. O1 preview, let's do it. Okay, this is a cross check. I'm asking O1 to take a look at the plan Claude wrote and look at the diffs Claude wrote and come back with a yes, no, or update, right? Um, so let's see what it says. And again, O1 is so much more slow and so much more expensive than Claude that using it as the exclusive for this, I wouldn't have chosen. It just takes too much time. And it's really the time. Like these things aren't super expensive to use, a couple of pennies per turn, but time is the resource, right? It really takes you out of flow when you're waiting. Okay, what did it tell me? Certainly. Well, this, yes, it'll give you the change. We can minimize the changes. Is this we can make by focusing on add a thing, create the line paint, apply to in the paint window class. Is this the, yes, exist are readable. Okay. Add a line action in the actions class. Okay, I'm gonna make a note for myself. I need to update actions. And the reason I made that is I saw this existing actions. So that tells me that this is a diff. And I don't want to apply the diff by understanding it. Create line paint. Is this a diff? This is not a diff. Okay, I'm gonna make a thing and toss it in there so I can save it later. Okay, what's this one? Line action. Okay, original code. Okay, this is a diff. It's too small. Connect line button to in the paint window class. Okay, so I need to update paint window. I don't need the palm. Paint window. For the life of me, I cannot get that P selected. Why? Okay, well, I'll just type it. Paint window. There we go. And what's the next thing? Paint object constructor. The line. Okay. Any other things? Compile, run. Okay, so I need to save this as line paint. And let's do that. Source main Java com sample Java line paint. Okay, saved. Now I need to do actions. Let's go to Claude and ask Claude to give me these three. Let's just note this so I have this space back. See the glyphs? Sometimes you'll see them, sometimes you won't. This one's just saying that, hey, you brought this up in edit mode, but you just made a note out of it. Okay, let's ask Claude. Can you write the entire actions Java file for me? Let's go to the code base. There's actions Java preloaded here. So while this thing is thinking, I can, this makes it, having things organized between spec here where I can track what I'm doing and code base here makes it super fast for me to do my own steps, extract it, save it. Okay, I've got the actions Java saved out. Next one I need to do is paint window. Great. Now can you write the entire paint window file for me? And again, I'm just looking at my spec here. Let's find paint window. Paint window Java, load it. Prepped. And ready. Still waiting on Claude to write it. Sometimes it's slow. I think that when these models become 10x faster, you're going to start seeing massive productivity improvements from developers. Save it, paint window. Okay, what else do I need? Paint object constructor. Great. Can you now do paint object constructor file for me? I didn't even speak that correctly, and it didn't even write it correctly. But I'm not particularly worried. It'll understand exactly what I meant from the rest of the context. Let's find it. Paint object constructor. Okay, I'm just skimming through this to make sure that I can find the main file. That's relatively easy. Okay, I think that's all that I had listed in my spec to do. Means I'll bring the terminal back up and I'll try building again. May even clean install. Build success. That sounds great. Let's run this thing. It's gonna put it on the wrong monitor again, but that's okay. I can find my mouse here and drag it over. Okay, pencil tool, smiley face, eraser tool. Oh, he's lost his nose. Line tool. Hey, I got a line. Let's give him a pointy chin. There we go. Uh, one of the twists I've learned from programming this way, right, is that it's not just programming that works with this. Like I can write comics book like this. I've actually put my 9-year-old daughter on the system and let her, make a story about Peter the panda, and she used some of the features to kind of build something that looked more like a Pinterest board, right? And it was really kind of neat. And so the thing that I'm beginning to see is that when you have this kind of system, right, it really changes how you think about all apps, not just programming, right? And what you can do with AIs. Anyway, it was nice meeting all of you, and hope to talk to you one day in the future.